Hello Pro Strikers. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at how to move the head effectively in mixed martial arts. Head movement involves slightly moving the head in order to evade strikes. Due to the glove size in MMA, having the guard up simply doesn't provide as much protection as in sports like boxing or kickboxing, where the fighters wear 8 or 10 ounce gloves. Seeing as the head is a major target, moving it can be preferable to other defensive options, as getting out the way makes sure to avoid being hit entirely. There are 3 major components that constitute head movement: slips, rolls, pulls, which are all generally used to avoid punches. These techniques also have the potential to avoid other strikes like elbows or kicks, but head movement on the whole is considered a much riskier endeavour because of the other weapons involved. That said, fighters such as Ilia Topuria have garnered great success through utilising correct head movement in MMA. Slips. A slip is performed by moving the head to the side, causing a punch to slip past the fighter. A fighter can slip to the outside or the inside of the opponent's stance. Slipping to the outside is deemed safer, as it can be more difficult for the opponent to capitalise with a counter. Slipping can be extremely dangerous in mixed martial arts due to the addition of strikes like knees and kicks. Fighters can disguise kicks with straight punches, causing the opponent to slip directly into oncoming strikes. Pulls. A pull involves pulling back and away from an oncoming strike. When combined with a lean, bending backwards at the waist, a fighter can get out of the way of pretty much any oncoming strike. A pull might be the safest way to avoid an oncoming strike, as the fighter is entirely out of range. Predicting the strike that is coming is less important because the aim is to get completely out of the way. It requires less thought and therefore is easier to perform. The major advantage of getting out of the way is the same reason it is a disadvantage. The fighter is moving away from the opponent, therefore countering is much more difficult. There are, however, still counter-punching opportunities if the pull is used as a bait, a premeditated defence to set a trap. This same thought process can be used with any head movement in mixed martial arts. Rolls. A roll is performed by bending at the knees and ducking whilst turning the body to roll underneath a punch by creating a circular movement. It is usually used to avoid circular punches that aim to come around the side of a fighter's vision. Like with slipping, a roll can create great counter-punching opportunities. In mixed martial arts, it can allow a fighter an entry on a takedown, as by being low, you can get underneath the fighter's punch and gain entry on their hips more easily. The same opportunities can also be presented when slipping a punch if combined with a good level change. A roll can leave a fighter out of position if they're over-reliant on head movement. With the addition of knees to the head permitted, there is a lot more danger present when bringing the head lower toward an opponent's legs. We have seen many examples of a fighter being knocked out by a knee or uppercut when attempting to level change on an opponent. This must be taken into consideration when choosing to implement head movement. If faced against an opponent that is likely to kick or knee, it may be best advised to utilise other defensive options. The best way to utilise head movement in mixed martial arts is as part of a strategy against specific opponents. When facing Dominic Cruz, a good counterpunch with an orthodox movement, Cody Garbrandt held his ground, forcing Cruz to lead, and used head movement to either counter him as he came in or to evade his oncoming punches, turn and hold the centre of the cage. Anderson Silva would use his head movement as part of a counter-fighting strategy. He would opt to carry his hands low, entice the opponent to lead with punches, and counter them as they came in. When making a punch miss with head movement, the opponent will be left out of position and often blindsided by the oncoming counter. It's the ones you don't see coming which hurt the most. Ilia Topuria will use head movement as part of a pressure counter-fighting strategy. Opponents will use straight punches in an attempt to keep him at range, which Topuria can time as he comes in and pick thunderous shots to both the head and body, often coming over the top of the opponent's straight punches. He uses it as part of a tactic to push opponents to the cage wall, where he can let go with his hands in combination. Head movement is often best used as a defence when combined with other defensive options, which I'll cover in the video Boxing Defence for Mixed Martial Arts, so feel free to check out that video. Let me know your favourite defensive method in the comments below.